Hey nerds, welcome back to another video. It's Gabriella here from Gabby's Pages. So today's video is going to serve as a bit of a mid-month wrap-up where we're going to talk about the books that I've read so far this month and see the changes that have maybe have happened in my TBR. As I'm quite a mood reader, things were bound to change. So before the video starts, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into the video. So the first book I want to talk about that I read during the month of March was actually an audiobook that I got through Audible, and it was Becoming by Michelle Obama. I knew this was going to be a great read because just Michelle Obama in general I think is an incredible human being, but I didn't know how incredible until I read this one. This was definitely like the easiest 5-star ever. Like that was just so simple, and especially having Michelle just in my ears telling me her story as a woman, as a lawyer, as a girl in Southside Chicago, her love story with Barack, the presidency. It was just so easy. And it really felt like I was having a conversation with her. Like we were both sitting on the couch opposites each other and just talking to each other. Like that's really what her audiobook and her book felt like. I really, really love the way she writes, the way she talks, the way she is. Just everything about her is just incredible. So yeah, that was the easiest 5-star I've probably ever given, like ever, to a memoir, I think. And I'm not the biggest fan of nonfiction, so I have to say this comes not as a surprise, but more as an anomaly because I just don't read memoirs that much. But Michelle Obama I knew was like an ultimate pickup, and I kind of felt late already with that one. So Becoming was actually the first and only novel I finished so far in March. It's been kind of a slow month, not in the amount of things that I've read, but in the novels that I've read, as Becoming is the only one that I finished. I did say in my March TBR that I really wanted to finish Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I didn't touch it since. I don't know what it's been, but it's kind of been not really a reading slump, but kind of it's a bit weird. I don't know how to explain the feeling that I've had lately. Maybe it's the perpetual winter here in Canada. Maybe it's just I don't know the vibe that I'm in. Um, but yeah, Carry On honestly hasn't been on my top priority. And it's not like reading wasn't. It's just I don't know what it is. I love the book so far. Like to me, this is a 5 on 5-star prediction. But I just really wasn't in that vibe, which is really weird. It gets even weirder when you consider that the book that I decided to pick up because I wasn't in the mood for Carry On was These Witches Won't Burn. And it's a book about wizards and witches again. Like it's not the same type of witchcraft or whatever. Like Carry On is definitely more the wands in Harry Potter, and These Witches Won't Burn is definitely more the like elements type of witch thing. But like they even both are purple. Like I don't know what it is with my brain, but brain is like, not these witches, these witches. Um, but so far, These Witches Don't Burn. Although it is, I'm only 50 pages in. It has been pretty great read. And I'm really happy I picked this one up because I feel like it's the best kind of book to read when you're getting out of a slumpy week or a reading slump, sort of, or a pre-reading slump. Because it's just that kind of easy writing that just like you just sail. You know, like it's like they're like basically feeding you the information but like in a pretty way, so you're just like, yes, give me the information, I don't have to work for anything, my brain is barely in the equation, but I kind of love it. And but basically These Witches Won't Burn are these witches who live in Salem. The main character, Hannah, is a elemental witch, so she has earth, fire, air, and water sort of witchy bending powers. And basically, she has a coven in her town of Salem, Massachusetts. We kind of know the history behind that. But basically, the book starts off, she has just broken up with her now ex-girlfriend Veronica, who is also part of her coven. So that is a whole mess to untangle relationship-wise, because all the families are close together. And basically, Hannah believes that a blood witch has settled in Salem, and blood witches, as the name sounds, no bueno, they're not good news. So basically, Hannah and Veronica have to go on this quest to try and find the Blood Witch and, you know, eliminate her. So it's been a fun read so far. Like I said, I'm really just 50 pages in, so I can't say too much about it. But like I said, it's one of those easy writing styles that just everybody can get into. Although I've been pretty low in my novel reading for the beginning of November, it's not the case for graphic novels. I mean, I've been pretty busy in that department, and I've really enjoyed it. So the first one I finished, this one is from my TBR as well. It was one that I wanted to finish that I had started in February. So that was the Old Guard Volume 2, which I did finish, loved it. Another 5 star. So far, my month is going pretty great. When it comes to 5 star, it's like, you get a 5 star, you get a 5 star, you know? But I love the way the Old Guard 2 went. I love the way it ended. And I was really scared because I thought Volume 2 was the last of the series, but actually they did announce a Volume 3, which thank God, because the way Volume 2 ends is just like, nah, it's like not a cliffhanger, but it's kind of like an open, unsatisfying ending. So I was really scared this was how the series was going to end. And then right after I Googled it, and then I was like, ooh, I'm safe. But I'm really interested to see, because I'm assuming Netflix is going to do an Old Guard 2. I'm really interested to see how the adaptation will go with this one, because there's a big part of the plot of the first movie that isn't part of the second movie, and it kind of plays a big role in the second graphic novel, if that makes sense. So I can't wait to see how they transition into the second story. But yeah, it was a great read. Again, the art style was still amazing, so that was great. The next graphic novel I read this month was Saga Volume 1. Guys, outstanding. Basically, it's this space opera. I think I mentioned it in my TBR about these two people. I thought they were two people who found a baby, but actually they're two people opposing each other in an intergalactic war, and sort of a Romeo and Juliet kind of story. They fall in love, meet in jail, of all places. One is the guard, the other one is a prisoner. They meet, fall in love, and they go on the run, and they have a baby. And then basically each of the people from each side of the war are trying to go against them and try to get the baby and kill them. So it's them running away. Volume 1 was just outstanding. Like the art style, like I know I mentioned the art style in graphic novels constantly, but this one is definitely by far my favorite art style that I've had so far, and it put me in such a sci-fi mood. I had to go and troll the web trying to find the best sci-fi books because I realized I have no sci-fi other than this in my bookshelf, which is a crime. And now I'm in the biggest sci-fi mood and I have no sci-fi to read. So I think that's going to influence my TBR for the rest of March a lot, because now I just want to go to space. I want to get in a spaceship. I want to destroy a planet. Like, I don't know. I need to be around the stars or something. And then the next and final graphic novel I read so far this month is Paper Girls. I had mentioned Paper Girls in my TBR, so far I am pretty much sticking to it. My TBR, that is, at least for my graphic novels, it was pretty easy because I had a bunch of graphic novels that I really wanted to read that were right there on my bookshelf, so that was pretty easy to stick to. But Paper Girls, like in my TBR, like I said, I didn't have that much information because I do love when graphic novels are sort of a mystery to me. And I'm really happy I did because I was totally surprised to where the story went. I just knew they were a bunch of girls who, did the paper in the morning and all that, and they went on this adventure. But they were basically forced into this adventure because they find this kind of weird spaceship time travel machine. They're not really sure, and everybody in town disappears. They don't know where they are. But it was a lot of fun. There are a lot of volumes to this one. I think there are 6 volumes, if not more. And I really wish I had bought like all the volumes all at once, because I really felt like usually graphic novels are one sit reads for me. Like they're pretty easy, they're short, they're mostly images, so they go by quickly. But this one, I felt like I just flew by. Like I think like I don't know how long it took me to read it, but it was just way too short. And so I wish I had volume at least 2 or 3 with me, but that'll be for another book haul or whatever. I mean, I'm not too stressed about it. I have a debilitating book buying problem, so I'll be picking volume 2 fairly soon, I think. So for the month of March, there is one more graphic novel I do want to read. I did not own it when I started the TBR, and that is Saga Volume 2. I just had to pick it up. Literally the second I finished Volume 1, I was like, okay, let's go. I was online, I was buying it, was in the cart, and it was being sent out. And it got out here actually early. And to be honest, I'm probably going to read it tonight and finish it tonight. Because Volume 1 was incredible, and I have a pretty reliable source that tells me that Volume 2 is even better. So exciting. I didn't buy Volume 3 and 4 because, again, I'm an idiot. I should have. But I was like, let's be moderate. But, like, girl, whatever, you're gonna end up buying them anyways, whether it's today or tomorrow, who cares? But yeah, so that's gonna be one of my next reads for March. Definitely gonna finish it before I finish These Witches Won't Burn. So, like I previously mentioned, I am a pretty big mood reader. So really, my whims are kind of crazy when it comes to books. So I do like making myself a TBR, so that as a reminder of the books that I have and the books that are higher top rated in my TBR. But after reading Saga Volume One, I said I was in a big sci-fi mood, and I wasn't lying. So I ended up purchasing Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Aurora Burning by the same author. Illuminae is part of a trilogy that is not completed, so that's always exciting. I'm not really patient, so I don't like waiting for other books. I only bought the first book though. I don't like buying a full, unless I know I'm gonna really, really like it. I don't want to buy a full trilogy. But basically, Illuminae, or the Illuminae Files trilogy, is basically about these two people that are trying to take down. This is, I believe, because I wanted to keep myself vague enough about it. I've really heard good things about it, but everybody seemed to be pretty vague about their description of the synopsis, and I'm really glad they did, so I'm going to try to stay with blinders on a little bit. But Illuminate Files is about these two people trying to take down their intergalactic government, and the whole book is actually told through a bunch of files. So there's going to be emails, pictures, those kinds of things. So I'm excited to find that kind of multimedia way of storytelling. So Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman is actually sort of a space opera in the same vein as Saga. So it's about this group of ragtag intergalactic warriors from a place called the Academy, and they might be the only key to stop a war on the brink of putting the galaxy on edge. So I'm really excited for this kind of story. Like I said, there was no sci-fi on my bookshelf, which really shocked me because I am a big sci-fi girl. So yeah, I had to pick up Illuminae and Aurora Rising to start this new collection because, you know, that's what I need, another collection. But those are my first in mind for the month of March right now because, yeah, I'm really feeling the space vibes. The last book I wanted to mention today is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. It is sort of my audiobook choice of the month. So I got the Audible version, so it is Chanel Miller reading her own story, which I find really interesting. If you don't know who Chanel Miller is, she used to be known as Emily Doe in the justice system. She is the sexual assault victim at Stanford. She was known as Brock Turner's victim. I don't like to refer her that way, and she doesn't like to be referred that way, but I think that's how most people know her at this point. But she wrote a memoir about her story from day one, and it's been really interesting so far. I've actually learned a lot about the justice system in the US, although I think I was pretty well versed in that as I've studied it pretty extensively in school. It was nice knowing how it was from a victim's point of view and how it is from a victim's point of view. I'm really just at the beginning of this book, but I really love Chanel's writing style and and her way of telling her story. I love her voice. I really love everything that's coming out of that book. So I'm really excited to read more of it and hopefully finish it before the end of March. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more bookish content. All my socials will be linked down below, as well as all the books I've talked about today. If you want to support this channel, my wishlist is also down below with all the books I'd like to read to be able to recommend to you guys. Bye-bye!